All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their victory this afternoon, 24-17 against the Los Angeles Rams, puts them at 4-2. Shout out to the fourth quarter Pittsburgh Steelers team, man. If they could play the way they do in the fourth quarter for 4 quarters, they would be pretty much unstoppable. Another extremely slow start to the first half, which really sucks, especially coming out of a bye week. But Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers offense did what they needed to do in the fourth quarter, and honestly in the second half. In the defense, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Kenny Pickett this afternoon, 7 of 7 for 138 yards in the fourth quarter. Now, Pittsburgh kind of has a knack for winning these ugly, just weird football games. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad because there's quite a bit of bad, especially on the offensive front, but things are getting better, specifically in the fourth quarter. It's just not great, However, some way, somehow, through 6 games, a third of the way through the regular season, the Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting at 4-2. So nobody's complaining about that 4-2 record. However, the context of it isn't all that great. We're going to talk about all that in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with at least one Steelers video every single week. Steelers fans, if you're trying to get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. When the game started, I thought it was crazy that the Pittsburgh Steelers had not put up more than 400 yards since, what was it, like 2020? I watched the Falcons. The Falcons Bucks game today. The Falcons put up like 16 points and they had 400 yards of offense. I cannot comprehend how that is even a statistic. However, at the end of the day, man, this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, as we mentioned all freaking offseason, they're just absolutely loaded. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, or at least should certainly be in the running, or at least close to the front running for Defensive Player of the Year. They're just going to keep you in every football game. And as we saw against teams like the Cleveland Browns and even a little bit of today, they're actually single-handedly capable of winning you a football game. So it's great. It's great because throughout the entire regular season, the next 12 games, they're going to be in it. Now, we just need to see better efficiency. We need to see a little bit of everything. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the last couple of weeks, it seems like a very undisciplined team, which is kind of out of character. A lot of stupid penalties. George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, just stupid, like, why are you shooting yourself in the foot type of penalties? But at the end of the day, Kenny Pickett finished 17-25, 230 yards, 0 touchdowns, but he did have 0 interceptions along with a rushing touchdown. But we really want to just pinpoint that 7 for 7 for 138 yards in the fourth quarter. If we could see 4 quarters of that, Kenny Pickett, the fourth quarter of the Steelers offense today reminded me very much of the entire preseason, where they scored a touchdown on every single drive that the starters were out there on offense. Now, keep in mind, Pat Freiermuth is on the IR. They got Deontay Johnson back, which is absolutely huge. He had 7 catches for 79 yards today. George Pickens continuously establishing himself as a star wide receiver. We still need to get rid of the stupid penalties, but 5 catches for 107 yards. He certainly looks like he's on his way to stardom. We did see a 31-yarder from him, and then we did see a 39-yarder from Deontay. I do want and need to see more Calvin Austin III involved, but I do like the bigger plays we're starting to see some flashes of it, at the very least, at a more consistent level than we did, let's say, last season. One big thing about Deontay Johnson coming back, I think one of the announcers actually talked about this at the end of the game, it lets guys like Allen Robinson III be Allen Robinson III and Calvin Austin III, rather than needing these guys to do a little bit of everything. We can kind of go back to their skill sets, right? I want to get Calvin Austin III going deep. I want to get him in jet sweeps. I just want to put the ball in his hands. But when you're missing wide receiver 1, it just complicates the whole ordeal. I also learned today that it's not even more of a want, it's more of a need. In the red zone, I kind of need to see Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris. Najee Harris specifically on that touchdown run he finished 14 carries for 53 yards and that touchdown. We talked about it through the first month of the season. I don't know what it is. It looked like he had lost a step. He didn't have much pop to him, not too much zip. I know he's a power runner, but it didn't look like the Najee Harris that we've seen in previous seasons. We're getting flashes, we're getting glimpses of it, but Jaylen Warren, the dude's a stud. He's just such an underrated running back. He had what, 5 yards per carry, 4.9 yards per carry last year in his rookie season. He finished today with 6 rushes, 32 yards, and a touchdown. But when we get into the red zone, especially when I'm missing like my big boy and Pat Fryermuth, it just adds another element. It adds another level that defenses are forced to guard, right? You have to respect both Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, and, running game, receiving game, whatever you want to say. I do like the 2 running back sets in the red zone, and just in general, I want to see more Jaylen Warren, but I do want to see Najee Harris get back to the Najee Harris we all know and love. So defensively, shout out to this defense, man. And in the second half, they did give up 8 points, but the 21 offensive points really made up for it. These guys are so good. I mean, TJ Watt, the dude's a stud. I mean, we could even, stats will never really truly do a player like TJ Watt justice. He finished with 1 tackle and an interception today. Was very close to a pick 6, which was crazy because he was lining up in coverage. He read it like a book. And for, TJ Watt, I mean, that's just something you don't really see every day. Not with TJ Watt, but players in general, you don't see that every day. We know TJ Watt's an absolute superstar. I love Joey Porter Jr. I know tackling is somewhat of an issue for him, but as a rookie, a dude who's only played 5-6 games in the NFL, I love what I've been seeing from Joey Porter. Minkah Fitzpatrick, future Hall of Famer. He finished with 11 tackles tonight. It's just a great group that complements one another. But at the end of the day, man, the defense clearly isn't what anybody is worried about. They're going to keep you in every single football game. It just comes down to offense, man. Third down efficiency, 4 of 12 this afternoon. The good news is they had 0 turnovers as a unit, but 4 of 12 on third down, it's not a great statistic. It's just not going to work. It's never going to work. We need to see not only better third down efficiency, but stop putting yourself in 3rd and 10. Stop putting yourself in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 7s. I want to see 3rd and 1s. I want to see 3rd and shorts, 3rd and 2s, et cetera, et cetera. Make your third down opportunities easier, right? Just make it easier on yourself. And that's going to start, or one thing that's going to really help that is the running game with Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris. When we take a look at statistics as far as Pittsburgh Steelers running the football this season, they're averaging 81 yards per game. That's 4th worst in the National Football League. That makes it harder on everybody. Kenny Pickett, it just makes your offense, I don't need to explain why having a good running game does what it does, but you guys get the point here. They're not pretty, man. They're certainly not sexy victories, but hey, Pittsburgh's sitting at 4-2 with one of the worst statistical offenses in the National Football League. They are 6th to last in total points per game, putting up just 17. And then just yardage wise, they're 2nd to last in the NFL. Points wise, they're 4th to last in the NFL. You've got a couple of interesting games coming up on the slate here, Jacksonville and Tennessee. The running game, certain those are 2 top 10 running defenses. We're going to need to see the ball in the air. 2 big games, man. They're not divisional, but conference opponents. And you just got to continue to scrape these wins. But by Thanksgiving, hopefully we've seen at least one 400-yard offensive game from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's all I got for you. We're going to talk more Steelers as the week goes on, dive into the film analysis, all that good and fun stuff. But before we do, if you guys wouldn't mind, hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Guys, give me some thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers down below. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Peace.